All right, guys, going over the expressions review, we do have a test on this tomorrow. You can expect to see problems similar to this on the test. The first thing we're going to do is find the value of the expression. So this is just following the order of operations. Remember, we've talked about how that's please, excuse, my dear. Remember, for multiplication and division, we work it in the order it's in the problem. The same for addition and subtraction. You have to do it in the order it is in the problem. All right. On the first one, we have addition, then subtraction. We're just going to work it in the order that it's in the problem. So 34 plus 17, which is going to give me 4 plus 7 is 11. Carry the 1. So that gives me 51 minus 5. And 51 minus 5 is going to leave me with 46. All right? On the next problem, it says 25 minus 14 plus 3. So again, this has the subtraction and the addition. We work it in the order it's in the problem. The subtraction comes first, so that's where we're going to start. That gives me 11 plus 3. So just bringing down the plus 3. And 11 plus 3 is 14. Please don't make me pause the video. All right, for number 3, this time we do have parentheses, so I'm going to start inside the parentheses. So 15 divided by 3 is 5, leaving my 39 times and my minus 16, just bringing those down. So now it says multiplication and subtraction. That multiplication comes first. So 39 times 5 is 195. If we need to go to the side and work that out, we can. And now it has subtraction, so we're going to work that out, 195 minus 16. Again, I would recommend setting that up on the side, which gives me 179. Number 4, we have a bunch of stuff going on, division, addition, multiplication, and subtraction. But that subtraction is in the parentheses, which starts me off on my order. So that's where I'm going to start, leaving my division, leaving my addition, and my multiplication. 7 minus 2 gives me 5. All right, so now I have division, addition, and multiplication. That MD for multiply, divide is together. So I'm going to do the one that comes first in the problem. So that's 48 divided by 8, which gives me 6, plus 5 times 5. Now I can do my multiplication. So I get 6 plus 25, and then 6 plus 25 is 31. Okay, kind of squeezing that in there. All right. Number 5, we're going to start off with those parentheses. 3 plus 7 is 10 times 6 plus 4. 10 times 6 would be next, so that's going to give me 60 plus 4, which is 64. All right, on number 6, I have parentheses, so that's where we're starting, leaving everything else in the problem just as it is. 5 times 2 is 10. All right, so now I do have some multiplication here that we're going to go ahead and work out. 9 plus 8 times 3 is 24 minus 10. So now we're going to work this in the order that it is since it's just adding and subtracting. 9 plus 24 is 33 minus 10 gives me 23. Okay. All right, I'm going to move down to the next part. So we're evaluating. It tells me M is 6 and N is 12. So every time I see an M, I'm going to put 6, and every time I see an N, I'm going to put 12. All right, so M plus 5. You have to show me that the M changed to a 6. I'm well aware we can add that in our head, but you need to write that down because I can't see it change in your head. When I add that, it's 11. All right, number 8 says N minus 7. So that gives me 12 minus 7, which is 5. Just showing me that step. Number 9 is M times 4, so I get 6 times 4, and 6 times 4 gives me 24. Number 10 says N minus M, so I'm going to have 12 minus 6, and 12 minus 6 is 6. Right? On the next one, 12 divided by N. Be careful here because I did the wrong number the first time I worked through the review. That is N, which is 12, and 12 divided by 12 is 1. The next one says 9 times N, so my N is 12, and 9 times 12 gives me 108. Please remember, if you miss any of these, you can always pause the video, go back and rework it to make sure you're able to get the correct answer. All right. On the next one, it says 2m plus 5. So this is that new concept that we've been learning about this week. That 2 and m are next to each other. My m is 6. But to keep that from looking like 26, I'm going to put that 6 in parentheses. All right. When two numbers are right next to each other like this, it is multiplication. This is just a new, fancier way to write multiplication. So that's going to give me 12 plus 5, which does give me 17 as my answer. All right, looking at the next one, 4 times m, which is 6, minus 17. Again, making sure I put that 6 in parentheses so it's not 46. All right, 4 times 6 gives me 24, minus 17, and 24 minus 17 is 7. Last one, we have 36 minus 6 times m, which is 6 again still. So here, this is multiplication, so I do need to do that first. So I get 36 minus 36, which gives me 0. All right, these bottom ones were a little bit challenging because a lot of them have those exponents, which kind of ups the difficulty. All right, for number 16, it says a to the second power divided by 3. So I'm going to do 9 to the second power divided by 3. 9 to the second power, please remember that means 9 times 9, which gives me 81 divided by 3, and 81 divided by 3, put a little arrow here, is 27. Okay. All right, number 17 says 15 times b, which is 3, plus a, which is 9 to the second power. And you can see, I don't want that to look like 153, so I put the 3 in parentheses. All right, guys? Order of operations says the parentheses start first, but inside the parentheses it's just a number. There's no math in there, but there is an exponent here. So I'm going to do my exponent first. So 9 to the second power means 9 times 9, which gives me 81. Now I can do my 15 times 3, which is going to give me 45 plus 81. And then 45 plus 81, when I add those together, is going to give me 126. All right, number 18 says a to the second power minus 2, b to the second power. All right, so I have 9 to the second power minus 2 times b, which is 3 to the second power. Now, guys, you'll notice that 2 exponent was next to the b, and I'm keeping it with the 3. All right. I'm going to start working out the exponents first. So 9 to the second power gives me 81 minus 2 times 3 to the second power. Now I'm going to do 3 to the second power, so I get 81 minus 2 times 9. And then we can do 81 minus 2 times 9 gives me 18. And then when I do 81 minus 18, I get 73. Okay, so just following those steps of parentheses, exponents, multiply, divide, add, subtract. All right. So the next one, a to the second power. So we have 9 to the second power plus 30 minus 18. All right, starting with my exponent, that gives me 81 plus 30 minus 18. 81 plus 30 gives me 111 minus 18. And 111 minus 18 is 93. Guys, feel free to check my arithmetic on here if we're getting something different. All right, please let me know. All right, number 20 says b to the third power plus c. So I have 3 to the third power plus c. Now remember, plus c, which is 12. Sorry, might help if I wrote the number in. Let's fix that. All right, so that's going to be 12. 3 to the third power means 3 times 3 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 again is 27, plus 12, and 27 plus 12 leaves me with 39. All right, 19 plus 6 times 9 divided by 2. Again, you can see where I'm just putting that 9 next to it, but parentheses so it doesn't look like 69. All right, so that gives me 19 plus 6 times 9 is 54 divided by 2. All right, now I'm going to do that division. So I get 19 plus 27 And 19 plus 27 gives me 46. All right, these last two, number 22 especially, I've had lots of questions about today. So we have 3 times C, which is 12, divided by 2 times B, which is 3, and that's raised to the second power. You guys, you'll notice this is all in parentheses here. So this time I do have parentheses with math involved, so I need to do this inside here. All right, and I'm going to do that exponent first because exponent comes before multiplication. So I don't want to do 2 times 3 until I've got to do my 3 to the second power. So I have 3 times 12 still, divided by 2 times 3 to the second power gives me 9. All right, still in these parentheses I have math. I have multiplication to do. So I'm going to have 3 times 12 still, divided by 2 times 9 gives me 18. And now that there's an individual number, we can leave it like that without the parentheses. So now 3 times 12 gives me 36 divided by 18, and 36 divided by 18 gives me my final answer of 2. All right, guys, that one was extremely challenging. All right, I don't think there are any that difficult on the test, but it's still something that we want to be able to complete. All right. Number 23 says C. Drew. I'm not out of my desk. All right. So for C, we're going to have 12 to the second power minus 3 times 9. And again, you'll notice that was in parentheses, which means we're going to work it first because there's math inside. So I have 12 to the second power minus 3 times 9, which is 27. Now I can do my exponent. 12 to the second power means 12 times 12, which is 144. If you put 24 here, you did not multiply 12 times 12. Remember, it's an exponent, not just multiplication. All right, and now I can do 144 minus 27, which should give me 117. All right, so let's flip this over, guys. This is where, this is the new stuff. This is what we did yesterday. This is where I've seen some funky stuff happening. All right, number 24 says 4 times more money than Elliot. A lot of people have circled more money than Elliot and said that their variable is more money than Elliot. Guys, what is more money than Elliot? That doesn't make any sense. We need it to be an exact amount. What we're actually talking about here isn't more money than Elliot, but it's how much money Elliot has. That's what we need to know. So here, I'm going to use a lowercase e, and I'm going to say that stands for Elliot's money. All right? Guys, Elliot's money, isn't that a lot more clear than just more money than Elliot? More money than Elliot. Does that make sense? No. But if I say Elliot's money, that's what we're looking for, okay? And then if I look here, it says 4 times. What we're talking about here is Elliot's money. So 4 times Elliot's money would just be 4E. Okay? All right, number 25 says half as many pages as George. So this is kind of the same thing. I've seen a lot of people say P, pages as George. Pages as George. Is George becoming a page? It doesn't make any sense. Instead, we could do like a little g, and I'm going to say that that is George's pages. Right? Now, we don't know. He might be reading them. He might be tearing them up. He might have written them. All right? But those are George's pages. It's not pages as George. That doesn't make sense. It's just the pages that he has. All right, so now let's work on this half thing. This is what we saw today. We talked about it in class. We're seeing it again on the review. We might see it tomorrow on the quiz. This is asking, it says half as many as George. Or we can say half of George's. If I say half of George's, of means to multiply. So we could do 1/2 G. So that's going to be half of George would be 1/2 G because of means to multiply. The other option If we're finding half of something, that's the same as dividing by 2. So you could do G divided by 2. I will take either one of these. I think this one's the easier option because you can see your half very clearly. But if you remember half is dividing by 2, make sure you write your division with that fraction bar. All right, number 26. The width of the box that is 4 inches less than the length. So my math is coming from 4 inches less than the length. Do I care what the width of the box is? No. In fact, that's what my expression will tell me, but I don't need that to do the math. I need 4 inches less than the length. So the information we're missing is the length. Remember, if we use L, it needs to be that cursive L. So that's going to be my length. All right, it says 4 inches less than. If I'm doing 4 inches less than the length, that means I've got to have the length and I've got to take 4 away from it. All right, and remember our kind of key word there was if it says then, that 4 is actually going in the back. All right, number 27, the cost of a CD and a $12 DVD. So I'm wanting to write something to tell me the cost. Do I know how much the CD is though? Nope, so the cost of the CD is what we want our variable to be. So I'm going to say C is cost of a CD. So I'm going to take that CD and I'm going to add it in with my $12 for the DVD. So that's going to give me C plus 12. There was no than, so we're just doing C plus 12. All right, let me pause this real quick while I make sure everyone has what they need before we leave. All right, so we are back, and for anyone that's been paying attention, I made a mistake over here. 81 minus 18 is definitely not 73, and if I had done it to the side like I tell you to instead of trying to do it in my head, I would have realized 81 minus 18, I would have borrowed from the 8 correctly and gotten 63 there. So for number 18, I'm sorry to interrupt, make sure that is 63, not 73. Okay, so I'm very, very sorry about that. I'm going to go back to working on the back. I just wanted to correct that before we got all the way done, which we almost are. All right, number 28 says the United States House of Representatives has 35 more members than 4 times the number of members in the United States Senate. To find a variable and write an expression to represent the number of members of the House of Representatives. Whew, that's a lot of words. That is a whole lot of words. So what I want to focus on, guys, is just the math part. So if I look here, 35 more members than, that 35, that's where my math is starting. 35 more members than 4 times the number of minutes in the United States Senate. So guys, these members from the Senate, that's where my math is ending. So I was able to eliminate a large chunk of these words. So that means, guys, all of this stuff, I don't need that to write my problem. I don't need that for my variable. All of that was extra stuff. Look at all of that we eliminated. Now I can focus on the important part. 35 more members than 4 times the number of members in the United States Senate. Do I know what that number is? Whenever it says just something generic like the number, that's a pretty clear indication that's going to be my variable. So I'm going to put M for members of the U.S. Senate. Okay, and now I'm going to start trying to fill in what it says. So it says 35 more members than. So that means more than. So more than would mean addition. And remember, since I'm saying 35 more than whatever comes next, that 35 is going at the end because I'm adding it to something. I'm adding it to something. So the than moved it to the end. Now let's read the rest. It says 4 times the number of members. Well, that's what this is talking about, members of the U.S. Senate. So 4 times the members, 4 times M. We write 4 times M just by putting them next to each other. Okay. All right, number 29. Again, it's long, so I'm going to see if there's anything I can eliminate. Tamara grew her hair to an unknown length, probably might be something about a variable, to be cut and donated to charity. Mala has grown her hair 3 inches less than Tamara's. So guys, that right there, that sounds like math to me. 3 inches less than Tamara's. Write an algebraic expression to determine the length of Mala's hair. So again, guys, there's my math. All of this other stuff really wasn't necessary. The main reason it was there is because when this says 3 inches less than Tamara's, what is that talking about? What of Tamara's are we talking about? So I'm going to say T, and see how I'm writing my lowercase t with that little hook so it doesn't look like a plus sign. I'm going to say T is Tamara's. And then what we were talking about in this problem was hair. So Tamara's hair. Okay. And then if I look here, it says 3 inches less than. Well, less than would mean minus. And if it's 3 inches less than Tamara's, that 3 is going to go at the end because I've got to take it away from Tamara's hair. So 3 inches less than Tamara's. It's Tamara's hair, and we take the 3 inches off of it. Okay? Just a reminder, if you look for than, that's a really good way to just figure out, 3 moves to the end. It's kind of a key word, a little shortcut that I've been showing y'all. All right? Number 30, last one. Pablo earns an unknown dollar amount each hour he tutors. Unknown amount. That's what my variable, that's what we're looking for. If he tutors 3 hours, write an expression that can be used to determine how much money he makes. Again, we're looking at he tutors 3 hours. The rest of the stuff really doesn't matter. If I want to know how much money he's making in 3 hours, I need to know the unknown dollar amount each hour he makes. So I'm going to say H for amount Pablo makes each hour. And you could word that a little differently, but make sure that your statement is saying that your variable, your letter, if you didn't pick H, that's fine. Your letter is talking about the money that Pablo is making every hour he tutors. It needs to include that in there. All right, and then it says he tutors for 3 hours. If he's doing this repeatedly for 3 hours, repeating is multiplication. So I'm just going to do 3 times H, 3 times the hours, which gives me 3H. All right, guys, I do have morning duty in the morning. We'll have a few minutes before the quiz to go over questions, so make sure any problems that you have a question about, put a star next to them so that you're ready to ask questions when you come into class tomorrow. Hope you'll have an awesome night. I hope the video was helpful. I will see you in the morning.